When we think of flooding, most of us picture a very specific scene: a sleepy rural village, a swollen river bursting its banks, and sandbags stacked desperately against a cottage door. But the geography of water has changed. Today, the primary threat comes from extreme bursts of rainfall colliding with environments covered in impermeable concrete, where the water simply has nowhere to go. The Environment Agency calculates that roughly 5.7 million properties in England alone currently sit at some level of flood risk, and the damage left behind is staggering. Data from the Association of British Insurers shows the average domestic flood claim now lands between £30,000 and £40,000 per incident. If you assume you are safe simply because your property is miles away from a river, you might be totally blind to a massive financial liability sitting right outside your front door. The single most expensive mistake a homeowner can make is assuming that elevation and distance from a watercourse equal immunity. The culprit is surface water, sometimes called pluvial flooding. When severe summer storms dump massive volumes of rain in a matter of minutes, our outdated Victorian sewer systems are quickly overwhelmed. This animated chart breaks down the true distribution of the threat. We can easily see the number of properties at risk from rivers and the sea, but look at the next column. Surface water flooding threatens over 3.2 million properties in England, vastly outnumbering those at risk from traditional overflows. We saw this across London in 2021. Neighborhoods like Kilburn and Battersea, miles from the Thames, suffered catastrophic drainage failure, ruining basements and ground floors. In a paved urban environment, a river doesn't determine your safety. Your street's drainage capacity is the true measure of your flood risk. Surely, modern building regulations protect buyers from these exact scenarios. The logical assumption is that developers are barred from building on dangerous land. The data points the other way. Between 2009 and 2019, developers built over 84,000 new homes in areas designated as high flood risk. To get planning permission in these zones, developers often rely on an engineering workaround. Developers elevate the ground floor so the interior stays dry, but the garden and driveway submerge, marooning the property. Surface water finds a way inside regardless. Overloaded drains force water up interior plumbing lines or creep silently through external air bricks. A technically compliant ground floor secures the developer's planning permission. It won't secure a dry car, a safe escape route, or an affordable insurance premium. That brings us to the financial safety net. Homeowners widely assume that a standard buildings and contents insurance policy will fully cover the cost of drying out and repairing a flooded home. The reality lies buried in the exclusions. Standard policies aggressively cap the costs for alternative accommodation, meaning you could be paying rent out of pocket while your home spends months drying. They also routinely exclude any damage to outbuildings, landscaping, and anything parked on your driveway. Then there is the excess. While a standard claim for a broken window might carry a 250-pound excess, insurers quietly apply specific flood excesses to high-risk properties, regularly demanding 5,000 or even 10,000 pounds up front. At this point, many rely on the government's flood scheme, assuming it exists to guarantee affordable premiums for everyone. But flood has a rigid cutoff. If your home was built after January 1, 2009, it is completely locked out of the scheme, leaving you exposed to open market pricing. Furthermore, Flood is legally scheduled to end in 2039. If you sign a 30-year mortgage today on a high-risk property, your ultimate safety net expires long before you finish paying off the bank. Between aggressive policy exclusions and the expiration of government support, the true long-term financial burden of a flood falls squarely on your shoulders. This level of exposure demands immediate attention, but proactive interventions can effectively neutralize these financial risks. Property-level resilience measures severely restrict how much water can do. That means installing non-return valves on your plumbing, fitting flood barriers to doors and air bricks, and physically raising your electrical sockets 1.2 meters up the wall. Spending £2,000 to £4,000 on these upgrades can easily shrink a massive £40,000 disaster into an £8,000 inconvenience, cutting months of displacement down to mere weeks. Before you exchange contracts, run the due diligence. Check all 4 categories on the Environment Agency flood maps, especially surface water, and directly compare the flood-specific excesses on at least 3 different insurance quotes.
To do this efficiently, you can use the Cost Saver UK Flood Risk and Insurance Impact Checker. It pulls the environmental data and the real premium impacts into a single assessment. Extreme rainfall and urban development have cemented surface water flooding as a permanent fixture of the housing market. But by letting rigorous data drive your decisions, you ensure you will never be the one left holding the bill.